놀았어요. 친구하고 백화점을 구경하고 좋은 식당에 갔어요.
Okay, so let's repeat those two sentences together. 그리고 친구하고 만나서 놀았어요. 친구하고 백화점을 구경하고 좋은 식당에 갔어요. So those sentences are very, very long, right? Hi, Kate. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today? So let me repeat a little bit slower for you guys. 그리고 친구하고 만나서 놀았어요. 친구하고 백화점을 구경하고 좋은 식당에 갔어요. Oh, I see the Christmas tree. I see you. Thank you so much for being here today as well. How are you doing? I think if I'm not mistaken, okay, I'm gonna say it again. Maybe I will look like a fool, but I think it's you, Genesis, right? Yesterday that requested the video of reading slower. Was it you? Because I got mistaken once. Hopefully, I am not getting mistaken again. Hi, thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? How it translates. So this is actually, yes, thank you for remembering. Yeah, okay, I finally found the person. So I actually posted it today if you are interested in watching it, and I hope that this was what you were thinking of when you requested that as well. So the translation is actually part of the video, sadly. So here the first part is no translation, the other one has a few. But if you want a plugin that helps you with that, you can get the language reactor on your computer that will give you translations if you are interested. It works with YouTube as well as Netflix. Thank you so much. You're welcome. So yes, technically in this video, it doesn't have the plugin. This is how she made it, but this is another alternative if the video that you have doesn't have any subtitles. So let's start right now. Oh, thanks. You're welcome. So here we have, let's start with the first one, way easier, and then let's jump to the second one that is a little bit more complex. So we have 그리고 just right here. Comment down below if you remember what 그리고 would mean. What does 그리고 would mean? As you guys know, most Korean words starting in 그 are connective words. And what does connective words do? Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Connective words actually either connect two sentences together or two part of one sentence together. This one obviously is connecting two sentences since it is starting at the beginning of the sentence. So comment down below. What does that mean? Okay, I will give you guys a few more seconds to comment down below. I think someone, okay, let me accept that comment. So how do we say mom and dad in Korean? So mom would be 엄마 and then dad would be 아빠. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Thank you, thank you. So you guys are actually correct. 그리고 in English would mean end. So this means end whenever you are connecting with the previous sentence together. Hello everyone. Hello Tiff. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate. So 그리고 is a connective word that means end. So I would say most of the time you will see it at the beginning of the sentence. Thank you so much for the follow and the like. Thank you, thank you. You guys are the best. Hi to you too, Tiff. Okay, so let's continue. It's amazing. You guys are having a great time in the comments. Hello, thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? I recognize a lot of names. That is amazing. Okay, so let's continue now. We have 친구하고. So 친구, we know it is friend, but do you guys remember we have seen it multiple times yesterday? What does that mean? 친구하고 together. So with the 하고, what does that mean? Technically, 하고 has two different translations to that word. However, in this context, there is only one that works. So comment down below if you remember what 하고 would mean when it is paired with 친구. Wow, your Korean accent is amazing. Oh, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. So what does that mean? Comment down below. I will give you guys the answer after I drink a little bit of water, okay? Oh no, I don't know why so many comments get not. Okay, let me just So Tiff, you said I just finished a 6-mile walk. 피곤해요. Oh my god, that is a lot. Hopefully you're okay. Okay, so you guys are actually correct. 하고 is a particle-ish that means either and or with. Something that you need to remember is that it's always glued to another word, so you never put a space in between. Okay, 친구하고, and it is only paired with nouns as well, so you cannot pair it with anything else than nouns. So normally 하고 would mean either and or with. However, in this context we understand that it means with. And with friend. So that would be how this part would be translated. And then here we have 만나서. So here this is from the verb 만나다, to meet. However, we have once again this particle, 서 particle. Do you guys remember what that means? I know I'm asking you a lot of questions right now. You might be like, oh my god, it's starting roughly. So comment down below if you guys remember what that means when we add the 서 particle to a verb. What does that mean? So if you were here in my previous Korean study live streams, you might be familiar with that. Sorry about the noise. My dog is sleeping and I think she's dreaming. So if you're hearing some barks or things like that, okay, she is sleeping and dreaming. Okay, so comment down below if you guys remember what that means when you add the 서 particle to a verb. What could that mean? Comment down below. I will give you guys a few more seconds before I give you guys the answer. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for the like. Thank you. So here it would mean, is it a reason? Yes, exactly. Technically it's a cause. Yeah, cause, reason, both work. So it means because. So whenever you add 서 particle to a verb, it becomes because the first part, which is the first part, okay, cause or reason, and most of the time after that we will have a result. However, here I'm not sure that would be really a result, but most of the time, right, that would mean because. So because and because with her friend they met, I guess. Something like that. And then we have the verb 놀았어요, which is from the verb 놀다. Something that is very interesting. Something that is very interesting about this verb. Do you guys know? This is normally the verb to play. 놀다. This is the verb to play. Double shut under here, so it is in the past tense, so it's like played. However, Korean people use it when they want to say that they are hanging out with people. So whenever you hang out with someone, you use the verb 놀다, which is normally to play, because when you were younger, right, you used to meet up with your friend and go play. So that is why they continue using that verb, even though obviously when you get to be an adult, you are not really playing with your friends anymore, right? You are more hanging out. So yes, and okay, because she met with her friend, they hung out together. So that would be a little bit how this sentence would be translated. If you have a better way of saying that in English, please comment down below and let me know. Sometimes I feel like my English sentences are not always making sense and there could be better ways to explain it. So if you know how to rephrase it better, please let us know in the comment section. So here, let's continue with the next sentence. Let me repeat it one more time and then we will translate it together right after. 친구하고 백화점을 구경하고 전 식당에 갔어요. So here we have once again 친구하고. So 친구 friend. 하고 means either and or with. So here in this context, once again, it's more like with friend. And we have 백화점. Does any of you guys know the meaning of that word? Comment down below if you know what would be 백화점. What could that be? It is a place, first of all, so I'm giving you a small hint. This is a place that Korean people go to very, very often on a daily basis, most of the time. So what could that mean? What is 백화점? Comment down below if you remember what that means. 백화점. So this is a place where Korean people go there very, very often. If it's not every day. Comment down below If you guys know the answer, I will give you guys a few more seconds to comment down below the answer. I think it's hard, right? This word is a little bit harder. But I saw one great answer. So actually, Kokito was correct. This is either department store or convenience store, however you want to call it. So 백화점, convenience store, department store. Okay, so the place that Korean people go to very, very often to purchase like their dinner or things like that, because it's actually very convenient compared, for example, in Canada. Convenience store are not convenient at all. But in Korea it is. And I think in Asia in general, if I'm not mistaken. To be honest, I only went to Korea, so I wouldn't know if other countries are really like that. But from what I saw online, it's very convenient compared to elsewhere. I don't know in your country. Is the convenience store convenient? Let us know down below. Comment the answer to see if in your country as well it is convenient or not, just like Canada. Okay, so let's continue right here. So we have the verb 구경하다. Do you guys remember what this verb would mean? Even if you cheated, you can still comment down below the answer. So what does the verb 구경하다 would mean? Nothing about stepping out of my home is convenient. Yeah, in a lot of countries, right? It's so boring, nothing convenient. So what does the verb 구경하다 would mean? We have seen it also last week in another Korean study podcast. So comment down below if you know. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you. So I see a lot of great answers. You guys are actually correct. This is to look around, to browse, to... What was the other translations we saw last week? To browse, to look around, to... If you remember, comment down below. I'm not sure. There was another thing: to look around, to browse, to not explore, to search. Not really to search, because, for example, the best way to say that is whenever you go, for example, at the mall or something like that, and you just go to look there. You're not having in your mind, like in your mind, it's not necessarily you're gonna buy something. You're just gonna go there to see the choices, the options. Observe. I guess observe could work. Browsing, yeah. Look around, browsing, window shopping. Yeah, that would be correct. However, this one, we can also use it with not just window shopping, but that would be how we would translate that, right? In English, whenever we are going to a store without buying. But you know, it can be used for looking around. Last week it was about the, I don't remember how it was called, but the folk villages that had like the roof in some hay or something like that. And she was looking around that villages. So that is how she used that word. So you might want to write that down, because we see it quite often. And I think they use it half of the time. Not that often, but still often, okay? You know what I mean. And then we have the go particle that means and. So we have seen it a lot of times before. Some people get mistaken. They think that it's 구경 and 하고 together, but this is actually false. Here this would work, right? Because this is a noun. But here the 하 part is from the verb stem. So this is actually 구경하다. So the 하 part comes from the verb stem of the verb 구경하다. So it's just the go part that is added. So a lot of people get mistaken because of that, since they see 하고. But here in this case, it is part of the verb. The go particle, something that you need to remember. You definitely know by now, because I see it each time. You need to remember that this is only used with adjectives, verbs, or actions. So you cannot use the go particle on its own with nouns. For example, you would use 하고 in this case. So you need to write that down if you didn't know that. And after that, we have 토엔. Do you guys remember what 토엔 would mean? Comment down below. What would that mean? What would that mean? 토엔. What would 토엔 mean? Comment down below. What does that mean? What does 토엔 would mean? What could that mean? Comment down below. Like or good? Oh, yay! You guys are doing great. However, here in this context, it is more put as an adjective. Okay, so here this is an adjective that complement 식당에. So it is a good, and 식당, which is restaurant. So good restaurant. That is how we would translate that. We have the 에 particle. Okay, so it is at a good restaurant. That is how we can translate that. This is a particle used for how can I say that? For location or time. Sorry about that. I got a brain freeze for a second. And then after that, we have 갔어요 from the verb 갔다, to go. We have double shit under here. So it is in the past tense. Also, I just remembered I made a small mistake. Sorry about that. In English, I always get confused. But 백화점 is not the convenience store. It's the department store. In my head, it's always the same. But no, department store, it's more like a mall. Is that like a mall? I don't know. In English, in my head, department store is convenience store, but this is totally different. I just remembered. Forgot the sentence order again. It's okay, no worries. But I just want to tell you guys that I made a small mistake. Yeah, 백화점 is actually department store. It's not a convenience store. Because in my head, both are the same, but actually, I don't think it's true, right? Can someone confirm that department store is actually a mall? Because in my head, I would call that a mall and not department store. So please let me know if this is correct, okay? So let's translate everything together, okay? So with her friend, okay, she looked around the department store and went to a good restaurant, or at a good restaurant, okay? But to could be a better formulation in English, okay? So let me repeat one more time. Friend with department store, looking around, and good restaurant went. I don't think it's a whole mall, just a single store with lots of departments. Okay, yeah. Okay, I know. Yeah, it's a clothing store usually in a mall. So yeah, I think Susan. Oh, thank you so much for being here again. I remember you from this Sunday, but yeah, I think this is correct because in Korea there is, like, for example, Lotte World, or it's very, how can I say that? It's very in Korea there is a lot of places actually that it's like that. It's just like pop-up stores inside, like separated by level, or like some of them are all the same company. But for example, if you watch K-dramas, right, when they go like grocery shopping or whatever, there is actually also on other levels like clothes, or like skincare, or like, you know, they buy like a couple pajamas or things like that. So it's actually, I guess, in a place like that, probably like Lotte or something like that. But it's very, very common in Korea. I've not seen actually a lot of places that have malls, like where the stores are all individual. It's often like all together, but they have a small places each where. So hopefully this makes sense, okay? Now we understand better what is department store, thanks to Susan. How did you learn Korean and how long did it take? So I had been learning Korean on and off for about 3 years-ish, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry about that. I was reading something else. But yes, about 3 years-ish that I have been learning Korean, but only consistently since January. I'm not fluent yet, so I am still learning just like you guys. But I am in an intermediate level. Thanks so much for the follow. I don't think we have stores that have all department places like Lotte has. Yeah, exactly. Especially, for example, I am from Canada, and I don't think we have any places really like that. I mean, they have like, we have some grocery store that maybe has a small section of clothes, but not to the extent that they have in Korea, literally. Also, there are some e-marts that are like that as well in Korea. Some are very, very small. Some are convenience store, and some are like literally 6 or 7 levels, and like there's even a place that sells shoes inside that e-mart. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much for the like. So let's continue with the next sentences. If you have any questions about those one, please feel free to comment down below and I will answer to you guys. But for now, let's continue with the next sentences.
한국에서 크리스마스 때 가게에 예쁜 장식이 있어요.
Okay, so let's repeat those sentences. I mean, that sentence together. Let me drink a little bit of water, and then after that, I will repeat it with you guys. Okay, So, 한국에서 크리스마스 때 각계 예쁜 장식이 있어요. So let me repeat a little bit slower for you guys. Thank you so much for the follow. So, 한국에서 크리스마스 때 각계 예쁜 장식이 있어요. So let's translate everything together. We have 한국에서. So do you guys remember what that means with the 에서 particle? Comment down below what that would mean. What could that potentially mean? Do you guys remember? We see it a lot of times in my Korean study live stream. So if it is not the first time that you are here today, you might remember what that would mean. Comment down below the answer. I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you guys are actually correct. 한국에서, in English, we would translate that to in Korea. However, something that is specific about the 에서 particle is that normally there is either an action happening at the location or someone is coming from that location. So that is what that would mean. So in Korea, 크리스마스 때. So we know that this is a Konglish word for Christmas. However, do you guys remember this little word just right here? What could that mean? We have seen it a couple of times before. So you might remember it or you might not remember it because there is another way that we see more often in Korean. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 어떻게 지내요? So what could that mean? Comment down below if you remember what that would mean in Korean. What could that mean? Possibly comment down below and I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you guys are once again doing amazingly. So 태 just right here would mean end. Okay? So in Korea, when Christmas, okay, so we can say when it is Christmas. In English, that would be correct. So let's go to the second part of the sentence because it's as if the sentence was cut in two. So here, first part of the sentence, here, second part of the sentence. So we have 가게. Do you guys remember what 가게 would mean? Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Thank you. So what does 가게 would mean? Especially if you know with the 에 particle, that is even better. What could that mean together or just separately? What is the translation to the word 가게? What could that mean? Comment down below. This is relatable to the previous sentence, so you might understand what that means if you are not familiar with that word. So yes, you guys are actually correct. So 가게 is tour. A particle, once again, location or time particle. So it is like at stores or in the stores. Okay, both could work. We have 예쁜, which is from the verb 예쁘다, to be pretty. However, it is put as an adjective. So pretty what? Just right here, it is the noun that it is describing, right? Which is 장식이. So here, as she has written, it means decoration. So pretty or beautiful. I mean, pretty would be the most accurate word for this word, but pretty decorations. And then we have 있어요, which is from the verb 있다, to be or to have, depending on the context of the sentence. But most of the time, whenever you use 있어요, both could actually work. So it would mean in Korea, when it is Christmas, stores, okay, or in the stores, at the stores, okay, stores in general, have pretty decoration. I understand the sentence. What? Oh, really? That is amazing. You can see your progress already, right? That is amazing. So that would be how this sentence would actually be translated. So let's jump to the next sentence. However, if there is anything that you are not sure to understand about that one, please feel free to comment down below and I will explain to the best of my abilities. But for now, let's continue to the next one. Thank you so much for the like as well. Thank you.
예쁜 트리하고 조명이 있었어요. 작년에 저는 집에서 작은 트리를 만들었어요.
Oh my god, there is one Konglish word. Same, because of Audrey, I gained more knowledge as a self learner. Oh, thank you so much, Kay. I'm very happy to hear that you have gained more knowledge since watching my live streams and possibly my TikTok videos as well if you are watching them. But that is very funny because there is a Konglish word that at first I was like, what the hell is that? That is literally, if you know me, you know that Konglish words are my biggest nightmare because most of the time I expect it to be a Korean word and I'm like, what the hell is this word? And then I repeat it 1,000 times and after that I look very, very dumb because I'm like, oh, this was actually an English word all this time. Okay, so let's repeat those two sentences together. 예쁜 들이 학고 조명이 있었어요. 작년에 저는 집에서 작은 트리를 만들었어요. So let me repeat a little bit slower for you guys. 예쁜 트리하고 조명이 있었어요. 작년에 저는 집에서 작은 트리를 만들었어요. So let's translate everything together. We have 예쁜, which is once again from the verb 예쁘다, to be pretty. However, this is put once again as an adjective, which would describe this little word right here. So, do you guys know what is 트리? Comment down below if you guys know what 트리 would actually mean. Comment down below if you guys know what this word would mean. What could that mean? Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. What could that word mean? Comment down below if you know or if you want to try and guess the meaning of that word. Comment down below what could that potentially mean. Do you guys know? Comment down below the answer. What does this word? Okay, I'm not going to repeat it because it's going to be even more clear, right? So I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you guys are actually correct. This is a tree from Christmas tree. But, if you just read it like that, you might get confused. I think you need to hear it out loud to not get confused. So 트리 is a tree in English. 학교, once again, is and in Korean, but it is only paired with nouns. So first of all, you will never see it hang out by himself. So there is never a space between word and 학교. I think that a lot of beginners especially get confused, right? They write a word and then a space in 학교, but it is always glued to another word, which is only noun. So you cannot put it with anything else besides nouns. So pretty tree, and 조명이, which is actually lights or illuminations. Sorry about that. I don't know why I kind of lagged there. But 조명 would actually be lights, okay? So lights in a Christmas tree, that makes so much sense. And we have 있었어요, which is from the verb 있다, to be or to have, depending on the context of the sentence. But here it's in the past tense, since we have 2 times double shiot, makes it in the past tense. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. So it is more like a pretty tree and lights there was. Okay, so in English we would say that, the tree was pretty because it had lights or things like that. But in Korean they would say, right, pretty tree and lights there was. I don't know how I could translate it in a better way in English. If you know, please let me know, because my brain is like, that doesn't make any sense in any way in English. But, the tree was pretty because there was light. That would be how we could translate that, I guess, in a correct way in English. But in Korean, there is no because, so it can get confusing. Anyways, let me repeat one more time each word. Pretty tree and lights there was. So that would be how this would be translated. So let's jump to the next sentence. I will be repeating it one more time. 작년에 저는 집에서 작은 트리를 만들었어요. So let's start with this one. 작년에. Do you guys remember what that means? Comment down below. if you remember, I think it was last week. Yes, last week I actually gave you a small trick with that word with hanja meaning. So if you were here last week, you might remember what is the trick that I gave you guys so that you can remember the meaning of that word based on hanja. So comment down below if you remember what 작년에 would mean. What could that mean? Comment down below if you guys know. Even if you don't know, you can still comment and try and guess the meaning of that word. Thank you so much for the like. Thank you, thank you. So I think I wasn't there. It's okay, no worries. Now you know. You will know today. So comment down below. I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we actually got a great answer. This is 작년에 would be last year. Oops, sorry about that. I kick off the tripod. Anyways, so 작년에 would be last year. The way to remember it with hanja is that 작 in hanja meaning it has a meaning of small. Something small is normally what is associated with 작, and then 년 is the word that you want to use when you are talking about years. So it's as if you are saying small year. I know this is very confusing, right? And it is also very, very cute because since it's in the past, I guess it's like smaller, right? So 작년에 would be last year, but if we translate from hanja, it would mean small year. So that would make sense, right? Because since it's in the past, it's kind of smaller, right? So that is one way that you can remember this word, especially because most words that you are using 년 is different, right? This year, next year, last year. So to remember that this is last year, this is how you can remember with hanja. So small year, last year. And particle, once again, location or time particle. So we can say like at the last year. In English, it doesn't really make sense, right? But last year, that would be how we would say that. 저는, once again, I, me, myself. Whenever you are talking about yourself, a lot of times it is omitted in Korean when you are talking, especially if the person is already knowing that you are talking about yourself. You don't need to repeat it. Even if in English we would repeat it, but in Korean it is not necessary. You need to remember this is formal, so you always need to end your sentences in some form of formalities whenever you are using 저는. We have 집에서. So 집에서, oh my god, there is the answer just right here to 작년. Anyways, 집에서, which is 집, home, 에서 particle, location or time, but there is some type of action that is happening at the location, which is this. Okay, so it would be at home. 작은, which would be what? What would be 작은? Comment down below if you remember what 작은 would mean. Thank you so much for the share. Thank you, thank you. I'm not even trying to hide it. What does 작은 would mean? So now you can remember, right? That 작년에 means last year, as in small year. Yes, you guys are correct. I really don't know where you got the answer from. So 작은, which would mean small, as in adjective. Yes, exactly. I'm gonna accept the comments. 잠시만요. I don't know why it got oh my god. Okay. So yes, 작은 would be small. 뜰이 is Christmas tree. And then we have 만들었어요, which is from the verb 만들다. By any chance, does any of you guys know the meaning of that verb? Do you guys know what 만들다 would mean? Comment down below if you know what the verb 만들다 would mean. We have double shot under here, so it is in the past tense. Comment down below the answer. I will drink a little bit of water once again and let you guys know right after. So what does the verb 만들다 would mean? Even if you don't know the meaning of that word, you can still comment down below the answer. Okay, so you guys are actually correct. This is the verb to make. Okay, to make or do. Yeah, that is correct. So to make, the verb 만들다. Often it will be used whenever you are making something yourself. Oh no, it's okay. I mean, it was a great guess, right? Because technically you are not making the Christmas tree as in making it like putting each branches. I mean, maybe, but you know what I mean, right? You're not making the tree yourself. You're not DIYing the tree yourself. I thought to make was hada. So hada is to do. So there is a subtle difference in between. Hada is to do something, and manderda is to make something yourself. So out of your hands or things like that. So technically you are not DIYing the tree, right? When you are purchasing it, you just need to assemble it and then decorate it. So that was actually a great guess, okay? So here, this sentence would be last year, at home, I made a small tree or Christmas tree. So that would be how this sentence would be translated. So last year, I at home, small tree, made. Tree, not number 3. Anyways, small tree made. So that would be how this sentence would be translated. Very interesting, right? So let's continue to the next sentence. I will have to leave as early as possible today, so right on time. So let's go further. I used to confuse mandarda with manada. Oh, that is such a cute mistake though. That is very, very cute, but that's great that now you remember, right? That it is different. The difference. So someone commented, I cannot accept it. Okay, 잠시만요. So they said, can you explain where we have to put 를? Yes, of course. So 를 is an object particle, right? And what does that even mean, right? What does object particle means? So it is always paired with a verb. Okay, first of all, and it's an object to the verb. So most of the time when the verb cannot stand on its own, because we cannot just say, oh, yesterday I made, and you end your sentence there, right? People would be like, okay, but what did you make? So that is where the 를 is coming from. So it is complementing, a complement, not a compliment, a complement, like, adding on to the verb itself, because when it is on its own, it doesn't make sense. So it's to let you know that it is connected to the verb itself. And it is always paired with nouns as well. When there is no third consonant. Yes, so when it is ending in a vowel, this is actually 를, and whenever this is ending in a consonant, this is 을. Yeah. So yes, that is how you can remember. So if your verb at the end cannot stand on its own, right, and it needs a noun to complement it, then you need to add 를 or 을 to it. Because here, right, in the sentence, we cannot say, for example, last year at home I made. You cannot say that. I made. You made what? Exactly. So you made a small tree. So technically you put the 를 to the what or who part, because sometimes it is a person too, okay, that is connected to a verb. So in this case it is either a noun or a person. So that is when you would add 를 or 을. Does that make sense to you guys now? Do you understand better what object particles are? For me, it was so hard to understand at first, but once it clicked in my head that you need to use it with verbs that, right, cannot stand on its own, that doesn't make sense if it's alone, then it made so much more sense after that. So hopefully it makes sense to you guys. And also it is when the noun, right, that is complementing the verb is not the subject as well. If it is the subject as well, then you don't need to put 를 or 을. Okay? So if it is the subject already, you don't need to add anything if the verb cannot stand on its own. But if it's something different than the subject or the topic particle, then you need to add it. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. Let's do one more slide for today, because like I said, I have to leave on time sadly today, but we still have another Korean study session tomorrow at the same time, so feel free to join us. I will be able to possibly go a little bit later, right? Take a little bit more time to study Korean with you guys, but for today, sadly, I have to leave early. So let's do one more sentence or one more slide if we have time.
프랑스에도 가게에 크리스마스 장식이 정말 많아요. 큰 트리가 있고 가게 밖에도 장식이 많아요.
Okay, so let's repeat those two sentences together. So thank you so much for the follow. Also, if you guys are new, don't forget to follow me just right here because I go live 4 times a week where we study Korean together just like today. So here, 프랑스에 또 각계 크리스마스 장식이 정말 많아요. 근들이가 있고 각계 밖에도 장식이 많아요. So let me repeat a little bit slower for you guys. 프랑스에도 각계의 크리스마스 장식이 정말 많아요. 근들이가 있고 각계 밖에도 장식이 많아요. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. So now let's translate everything together. So here we have 프랑스에도. So what would that mean together? So now there are a lot of particles as well that are added to that word. So it makes it slightly harder. Can you guys guess what 프랑스에도 would mean together? What could that mean together? Do you guys know the answer? Comment down below if you know. Even if you don't know, you can still try and guess the meaning of that word. So 프랑스에도. So there are two different particles, which makes it a little bit harder, right? Or maybe not. I see a lot of great answers. I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are doing amazingly, guys, as well. I swear. I'm saying that every day, but soon you won't ever need me. You will know everything in Korean. So, 프랑스, France, something related to France. So it can be the country, something French or something, which we will know with the particles. First one, a particle, location or time. So it makes it in France as in the country itself. We have the to particle that means either to or also. So you guys are actually correct. This would be in France also, or in France too, or in France as well. All of that could work. So these are two particles, right? You guys can see that sometimes we can pair more than one particle together. So that can get either confusing or be very, very cool, depending how you view it, right? So in France also, 각계, so we know that 각계 is store. A particle, once again, location or time, so it makes it at the store or in the store, depending on the context of the sentence. We have 크리스마스, which is Christmas, Konglish word, and we have 장식이. So I'm gonna be asking you guys if you remember that word. We saw it earlier. So let's see if any of you guys remember what does 장식이 would mean. Do you guys remember what this word would mean? Comment down below. If you know the answer, what does 장식이 would mean? What could that mean? Comment down below if you remember what this word would mean. Even if you don't remember, you can still comment down below and guess the meaning of that word. So I see a lot of great answers. I will let you guys know in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So some of you guys are correct. Once again, decorations. So I saw someone that said small. So small would be 작은. So with the 기역 under here instead of 장. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. I see someone French. Amazing. But it's okay. That was a great guess, right? That was a great guess. Audrey, hello Seth. Thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? Also, if you guys are new, don't forget to follow me just right here. I go live 4 times a week where I study Korean together just like today. So let's continue to be able to finish this sentence for today. So here, decoration, Christmas decoration, 정말. Do you guys remember what 정말 would mean? So this is a word that we see almost in all of my Korean study live streams, if not all, in at least 1 time a week. So you should probably know what that means, right? What does 정말 would mean? Comment down below. Thank you so much for the heart me and the go popular sub. Thank you. Thank you for being part once again of the Sparkling Chingo gang. So what does 정말 would mean? Comment down below the answer. What does 정말 would mean? I see a lot of great answer. You guys are correct. So I will give you guys the answer right now. This means either really or very. So like I keep saying, 정말 is an emphasis word. So whenever you want to emphasize something, this is one of the words that you can use. So it means really, very. So when you want to emphasize here, this is a very interesting wording because it is an emphasis of this word, which is 많나요, from the verb 많다, to be many or to be a lot. So here this is already, a lot, a lot, but we put an emphasis on top of it, in front of it, it becomes really a lot. So that means that in France as well, okay, in the stores or at the stores, okay, I guess in the stores would be more correct, okay, they have really a lot of Christmas decorations. So it's not just they have a lot of Christmas decorations, they really have a lot of Christmas decorations. So that would be how this sentence would be conjugated. So in France as well, or two, or yeah, at the store, Christmas decorations, really a lot. So that would be how this sentence would be translated. So we will have a little bit of time to do the last sentence for today. After that, I will have to go sadly, but we will see each other tomorrow, okay? So make sure to come back tomorrow for another Korean study session. Thank you so much for the like. Thank you. So here, let me repeat the sentence one more time. 큰 트리가 있고 가게 밖에도 장식이 많나요? Now this is another very, very interesting sentence. So we have kin, which is from the verb 크다. Do you guys remember the meaning of that word, that verb technically? However, in this context of this sentence, it is put more as an adjective. So what could that mean? Comment down below if you know what that adjective would mean. What this kin would mean. Comment down below the answer. Right now, even if you are not sure, you can comment down below the answer and try and guess, because we are free space, no judgment. So it is better to make mistakes than not even trying. So what could kin mean? Comment down below. It is from the verb 크다, so that might give you a small hint as to what kin would mean. So I will give you guys the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you guys are actually correct. kin would mean big. Once again, we have 트리가, so it means tree, right? It is a Konglish word for tree, so big tree. 있고, so this is from the verb 있다, to be or to have, depending on the context of the sentence. So there is, or they have, okay, the store, they have a big tree. And so go is and. Once again, you need to remember it is only paired with is the same kin. So the verb is 크다, so you remove the and part, so just 크다. This is a verb to be big, but if you want to put it as an adjective, you add is it nian? No, ni something. I forgot the name of the letter right now. So yes, you add this letter to make it in adjective form. Okay, so 있고, once again, go part, it is only glued with verbs, adjectives, or actions, so you cannot use it with that. Yes, except you need to add the so 크다, right? So that is the verb. Oh yeah, adjectives again. It's okay, no worries. So here it is put as an adjective because, as you guys know, in Korean we can transform verb into nouns, adjective, adverbs, and we can put adjective or a noun into a verb as well. Hey, so I have a question about the 시옷. Like 있어, you rated at S, but with yes. So here, because there is a consonant that is found right after, so it is not pronounced as like 있고. That would sound very weird, right? So here the double 시옷 becomes more like a T. So 있고. So it is more like a subtle T. So that is why, because there is a consonant after that. If it was a vowel, then it would become 있어. And I will let you guys know, if you have been in my Korean study live streams for a while, I have a special tip to remember that is very, very deep for 받침 rules. So Stefan just joined, so I think he might remember that one. So with every consonant, it's like not exactly every consonant, but you need to go check there is rules. So some consonants, when they are found at the bottom and there is another consonant after that, will sound completely differently. So here, for example, it sounds like ikko. And the tip that I have for you guys, okay, you take it or you leave it. There are third consonant, different pronunciation when are following with other consonant, I think. Yes, exactly. Hello, Audrey. Sorry, I'm so late. It's okay, no worries. You might remember what I'm going to explain right now. So, you know when you date someone, now, if I say that, maybe some people will remember, right? So, you know when you date someone, okay, you change, okay? So, you change, which is the same principle with the 받침. Okay, so when you date someone, sometimes, not always, you change your personality, some things like that. You change a little, right? So that is why, right, 받침 paired with another consonant, it changes. So it is not the original sound. Okay, most of the time, sometimes it stays the same, just like when you are dating someone, sometimes you don't change. Okay, so listen, this is very important. So, right, you change when you start dating someone, sometimes. So here, the sound changes to a T instead of a double shiat. Okay, so 2 times S. So it sounds more like a T because it is dating the consonant. However, when it breaks up with the consonant, okay, so when they break up, they are not together anymore, they go back to its original form. So, you know, for example, when you date someone, sometimes you might forget about your friend, and when you break up with that person, you remember that you have friends, right? Some people are like that. Not me though, but some people are. And so when you break up, right, you go back to your original form. So that is when there is vowel after that. So if there is a vowel after the 받침, it goes back to its original sound. So it will sound 있어요. So it will sound like an S and not like a T. But when you are dating, so when there is dating a consonant, it changes the sound to a T right here. Does that make sense? I know this is a very deep understanding for what it is, but I swear I'm pretty sure that if you have heard that story before, it stick to your brain. And if you didn't know before, it will stick to your brain now. Nice example. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I find the weirdest examples that no one will ever remember. What's then the go for? So the go is and. So just like we saw earlier in the previous sentence, it means and. However, the and is only paired with verbs, adjectives, and actions. So that is why it is only go. With nouns, you would say 학고. But 학고 is only used with nouns. So you cannot use it with any other type of words besides nouns. And it's always the relationship example. Technically, the relationship example is the same one. So if you remember about hearing about a relationship example, it was that one that I explained. But maybe I explained it slightly differently so you don't remember. Is it right to pronounce it ikko? Yes, so you can pronounce it either ikko or ikko. So a very, very, very light T. Is that an example for the tenses with breaking up too? For the tenses? Really? I was sure it was that one. And only with verbs, adjective, and action. Yeah, exactly. So you cannot use it with nouns or adverbs or things like that. Okay? Let's conclude very, very quickly because I have to go. Kake, which is store. 밖에도, so 밖에 is outside. Do once again means also as well too. Just right here, something you need to remember. First of all, it is always glued to another word, and also you say it to every things that you want to say to. So in English, right, we would say, for example, I want money, a car, and blah blah blah. I want, yeah, and also a car. I want money, clothes, and also a car, for example, right? But in Korean, you would say to all of those above. So you would say, I want a car also. I want clothes also. I want a car also. Okay? In English, we only say it one time, but in Korean, you say it to all the choices that it applies to. After that, we have 정식기, once again, decoration. 만나요 from the verb 만다, to be many or to be a lot. So let me quickly translate that one, okay? So there is a big Christmas tree and, okay, there is a lot of decoration outside the store as well. So that would be how it would be translated. So big tree, there was or they have, and store outside also decoration a lot. So that would be how this sentence would be translated. Thank you so much for the follow. Also, if you guys are new, don't forget to follow me just right here because I go live 4 times a week. We're study Korean together just like today. Sadly, I have to go right now. We won't have time to do one more sentence, but please come back tomorrow if you want to continue this Korean podcast. Okay, same time from an hour ago. Until now, if you want to join us, I was late. It's okay. You will be able to rewatch my Korean study live stream on my YouTube channel if you are interested and you just joined and you were not able to see before. So you can always rewatch it on my YouTube channel. Like it will be up tomorrow. So if you want to watch today's podcast again, you can go on my YouTube channel tomorrow and you will see it. Thank you so much for the like. So I will have to go sadly, but I also posted a very, very interesting TikTok videos today. Oh, I think I'm subscribed. Yay! Also, I forgot to say it, but my YouTube channel is Audrey in Seoul. I'm late. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, even if it was for a short time. Thank you so much for today. Goodbye. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Merv. I wish you a good day too. Good day. Thanks. Thank you so much, Kokito. Thank you so much, Stefan, for everyone for being here today. And like I said, I also posted a very, very interested TikTok videos today. Okay, so if you want to watch it, please feel free to watch it right after today's live. And don't forget to join us as well tomorrow for another Korean study live streams, which will be at the same time as today. So from an hour ago, we will be continuing this Korean podcast. 안녕, 스파클링 친구. 안녕. So thank you so much for being here today. I have to go sadly, but we will see each other tomorrow. If you cannot make it tomorrow, we will see each other next Sunday, okay? We still have 2 more Korean study live streams this week. So if you just joined, okay, you still have more time to join us. Thank you so much again for being here and we will see each other tomorrow, okay? 안녕히 계세요, 여러분. 안녕. 내일 봐요. 고마워요. 안녕. 내일 봐요, 여러분.